Hey YouTube, it's me, Tfal Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the third of this month's Korean toy reviews. Usually I do 2 Korean toy reviews a month, but this month was special because one of my Korean purchases from last month was running a bit late and it rolled over into January when I should have reviewed it in December. So you get 3 Korean toy reviews this month. So anyway, I've already reviewed, basically, what happened recently is that, I like to collect things from these Hello Carbot toy lines, and it's my favourite Korean toy brand. And over the years, it's sort of, I was really into it to begin with when they was doing those scale models of Hyundai, not Hyundai, Hyundai cars. And they was really, really good. But then they moved away from all that and started making sort of fictitious vehicles, and then they started using egg bots and crash combiners and all that shat, So I've kind of gone off it, but every now and again they'll do a toy line that really appeals to me, and a toy line that I really, really like the look of and I really got into in a big way was the Hello Carbot Samba toy line, which was season 11 of the Hello Carbot TV show, which was not last year, it was the year before. Or anyway, when did it run from? Was it spring of 2021 through to autumn 2021? I know. The Samba toy line. Basically, in that you have the characters. They have these. The alt mode is a vehicle, right? And then you have the back of the vehicle comes off and becomes a robotic creature called a Samba beast or a Samba animal, and then the robot transforms, and then they have this powered up when they goes Samba mode, and then the Samba animal clips on the back. Turns out they got this chest panel which pops out and gives a different icon on their chest to signify that they're powered up, and it's an interesting gimmick. The good thing about the whole Samba toy line is that you had the interchangeability between the characters. You could take the Samba animal off one bot and put it on another. They had cross compatibility between the toys. The entire line had this, including the combiner, even though the way the Samba animals worked on the combiner isn't quite the same as it is on the regular sort of wave figures. Anyway, they did 6 figures in the main wave, and then you had the combiner, which was made out of technically 4 bots, because it was the 2 main bots, and then you had the 2 Samba animals to go with it. I like this gimmick so much, I bought the entire line. And it has its shortcomings because of the way that the Samba gimmick works. You take the Samba animal off the back, and you haven't got much meat of the alt mode left to make a robot from. The robots tended to be short and stumpy, but for the most part, it was a really good gimmick, and I love the interchangeability, the swappability of the Samba gimmick. It really worked well. Anyway, season 11 moved into season 12. We got the Hello Carbot Bumba season, where the main gimmick was ball launchers. You had a lot of the characters had they launched these balls. They went back to like these little mini figures with just you drop a ball into them and they spring open, kind of like automorph sort of figures, and then they have a ball launcher inside. And that was season 12. Now these seasons generally run for 6 months before the next toy line, the next season, the next toy line comes in. But Hello Carbot Bumba, or season 12, rolled into the Hello Carbot movie season. What was it called? Secrets of the Suspicious Magic Troupe, which aired in cinemas in the autumn of last year. And there's a couple of new bots came out for that. They also rehashed a bunch of bots from previous toy lines, gave them a lick of paint, including like they got like the original Pentastorm facelift team, and they did him in all that gold chrome and stuff. But they introduced 2 new figures. But it took the place of what would have been season 13. So season 13 hasn't happened yet. So rolling on into 2023, they haven't done the research into season 13. So what they've done is they've done an extension of season 12, the Hello Carbot Bomber season. And in doing so, they've introduced some new characters, including 2 brand new Samba bots. So some season 11 bots, they've made 2 new ones, and they've introduced them into season 12. They've brought back some of the old Samba bots into this extension of season 12, but it's the two new bots. I mean, I found out about them the back end of last year, and I saw like a YouTube video clip of the toy advert for this figure that I'm going to be reviewing here, and I did not like the look of it at all. It looked bloody awful. It looked horrible and ugly, and I didn't like the look of it. But it's a Samba figure. It's a Samba, you know, bot. So I've got to buy it because I decided I was going to buy all the figures from the Samba toy line. So I got all the figures from season 11, and now we've got these two new ones from season 12. So I've already done a review on one of them. This was the subject of last week's review. Hello Carbot Samba Storm Diver. And today we've got this thing. Hello Carbot Drillburst. Now, before I get into that, little thing you need to know. Now, just recently I've been buying. I've been buying my. I've always been buying my Korean figures from sellers in Korea. I used to buy them off eBay. But then after the COVID crisis, the eBay sellers bumped up their prices. They used to be free shipping, then they put in shipping fees, so the price of their figures just went way above what I was prepared to pay, so I stopped buying through them. Then I started buying figures off the likes of the Korean retail websites like 11th Street and Gmarket. And it's been a bit hit and miss. 11th Street especially, the web browser that I was using didn't like the 11th Street website, and it kept blocking my transactions. And so I have lately been buying a lot of stuff through Gmarket, and Gmarket had a shipping option whereby when you pay for the shipping, you had two shipping options. You had EMS, which is Express Mail Service, which was really expensive. It was about 30 quid to ship, a sizable Korean package from one side of the world to the other. But then you had FedEx, who undercut the EMS price, and they were charging like say 24, 25 quid. So I went for the EMS. The EMS had good tracking. It was quick. It was a good service. But then something happened. EMS. This is turning into a chewing the fat, isn't it? Yeah, this isn't the review. I'm just laying the ground for this toy review. So bear with me, please. They put the price up. Well, basically. Federal Express got exclusivity on international shipping with Gmarket, and in doing so, they got rid of EMS. So it was just FedEx or nothing. And when they did that, FedEx ramped up their price massively. When they were undercutting EMS, they were doing it cheaper. But once EMS had been taken out of the equation, they bumped their price up to more than EMS. So now instead of charging 25 quid for international shipping, they're charging like 35 quid, and it's just making buying bots from Gmarket like ridiculously expensive. Now this bot that I bought, I paid like 74.33 or just under 75 quid for it, which is borderline the maximum I'm prepared to pay for a figure of this size from a Korean seller. Anyway, so now then a couple of days later, I got asked to pay an additional £10.82 on top of what I'd already paid, which brought the maximum price, the ultimate price for buying this figure to £85.50, and that upset me straight away. The fact that I had to pay additional shipping on it really, really upset me, and I thought it was the seller's fault for miscalculating or misrepresenting the price of the item when they did the shipping quotation on it. But when the box arrived, I weighed it separately from the shipping carton, and it turns out it was the correct. The seller had declared the correct shipping weight for the parcel, and it was Gmarket who overcharged me by electing to sell it in this massive thing. I mean, look at the size and weight. This is a big, heavy box, and it was a lot bigger than the actual thing that was being shipped inside. There was a lot of empty space inside, and this bumped the price of the shipping up by, like I said, by about just over 10 quid, just them shipping it in a big chunky thing like this. Anyway, so as I like to do with these reviews, let's have a look at the box for this guy that I'm doing. So here's the guy. Hello Carbot Samba Drillburst. He's a Samba figure because you've got the Samba mark down here with the red and green arrows going around his word mark. Pictures of the robot on the in his alt mode, and then you've got Chatan. and you look on the side, you've got pictures of the robot, the Samba animal, and his alt mode. And you go on the other side, and then you've got, you know, robot, Samba animal, and then combine mode. You've got all your product information on the bottom, and just the usual sort of Samba marking on the top. And then on the back, you've got the images of all the different bots from the Samba toy line. And it shows the cross compatibility of the Samba gimmick, which is the reason why I decided to collect all the figures from the Samba toy line. So they've added, you know, Storm Diver and Drillburst into the mix with all the other figures from the original toy line. So anyway, also this box, it has the what they call the egg carton, you know, sort of like a runner inside, which is really, really good. Much better than those flat cardboard runners that they have. They used to run plastic clamshells, but now they have these egg box clamshells, and they're really, really good. Very, you know, biologically, you know, very ecologically friendly. You know, you can recycle them quite readily. But I like to keep my packaging. So there's the box, and that's what it came in. So you also get instructions in black and white, showing the transformation in both directions. You get the little cube that you know, Chatan has a wristwatch. You put it in, you twist the dial, and it goes, "Hello, Carbot," and then, you know, all the things go off, and it makes lights and sounds for the various characters. I haven't got it, so yeah, but they come with these little cubes. Then we get the figure itself. Now, like I said, I had to pay additional shipping on this, so that all automatically upset me over this figure. Also, the look of the thing. I mean, look at this thing. Now, it's a drill tank, and I got to admit, I am not a huge fan of drill tanks. Right? My idea of a drill tank is the mole from Thunderbirds. You know, it's got a big conical screwy drill on the front. It's then got a large cylindrical, you know, sort of body or fuselage behind it, preferably with, like, you know, wheels or tracks underneath. And then it's got, you know, like rocket boosters on the back, so that it can, you know, it can angle up, drill into the earth, and then it chucks all the dirt out behind it, and blah blah blah. It, you know, it's a drill tank. But this thing, I mean, it's got 3 spinny drills on the front, which, as you can see, they do come out. So yeah, spinny drills on the front. It's got the accessories on the top. So these are his weapons. So he has weapon storage. They just sort of peg on the back of his alt mode. And yeah, it's got these large moulded tracks on the side, but they're not actual tracks. It's got like little fastidial sort of pinwheels that allow it to roll on a flat surface. You've got the Samba animal is basically this chunk on top, and just it does plug in very firmly, this one. There you go. And then there he is without his Samba beast fitted. So you just get this flat platform with a couple of drills on the front, and yeah, that's that. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the way the things look. So I hate the way it looks. I'm not a fan of drill tanks, and yeah, I had to pay, you know, excessive shipping on it, and it cost me a small fortune. So we're off to a good start here, aren't we? So yeah, you look underneath. Obviously, you've got scrunched up robot bits. Not much more you can say about the alt mode. Is that it's a big ugly purple drill tank. What's to say about it? Right. So the weapons. Unplug. There are other places you can plug them in. I mean, you can plug them in there if you want. But I'll just put them off to one side. Now, as I've got both these brand new Samba figures that come you know, part of the season 12 Hello Carbot, you know, Bomber toy line, I can show the swappability of the Samba gimmick, though they don't really work very well between these two in alt mode because, like I said, they're the opposite way around. Like this one, you can see the Samba is mounted on the front of the vehicle, whereas this one, the Samba chunk is mounted on the back. And I'll show this if I unplug. So there's Storm Diver's base vehicle mode, and there's his Samba chunk, and then you can pull that off, and then you see they go that way round. But I can plug this into here, like so, but you can see it's the wrong way round because it's facing the wrong way. Now, I can pull those back, and then you've got the crocodile head sticking out the front. So that looks a bit better, I suppose, but it's not supposed to look like that. So yeah, it doesn't really work that well because it's on back to front. And then when I try to put this bit on here, now you see it plugs on, and then you've just got the drill sticking out the back. So yeah, the Samba gimmick between the vehicle modes doesn't work particularly well on these two because they're the opposite way round to each other. It might work better on some of the other toys from the Samba toy line because, you know, some of them, you know, there are some other back to front ones. I mean, Max Dozer, I think he's a back to front one. Yeah, so that's the swappability of the Samba gimmick. You know, you can put that on there, you can take it off, take this off here, and then you can put that back on there like so. It just plugs in. It's easy as that. They've just got the little pegs there, and they just plug on. I'm dropping bits all over the place. So yeah, that's the essence of the Samba gimmick. Now, so let's move on, shall we? Okay, so Samba chunk for Drillburst. It's this little thing here. Now this transforms into a mole. So let's see if we can transform it. Right. I think that's it. I think that's the mole Samba mode. So there's his head there, and he's got these claws on the front, and it will sort of. I think you can rock them down a little bit, but I think it looks better with them like that. It's supposed to be a mole. I'm not a huge fan of the Samba mode. I mean, if you saw that, would you say that was a mole? It's a weird looking thing. I don't think it works very well as a Samba animal, but there's his mole. Now, what's his mole's name? Did I make a note of it? I haven't got a note of it. I did look it up, but. Yeah, it's got a weird name. I haven't got a note of it, so I can't give his name at the moment. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments section. He has got a weird name, this guy. But then anyway, there's his Samba mode, or Samba animal. It's a mole. Not very good. Right, I'm making a right hash of this review, aren't I? Anyway, so you're left with this, and this is Drillburst's base vehicle mode. It's still a Samba. Well, it's still a drill tank. It's still like a platform with some little drilly things on the front and big tracks on the side. So now to transform this into a robot. So, first of all, you get these track sections and fold them round. You then straighten out the legs and then angle them outwards a little bit. And then these bits, these track bits, just fold right the way around and then sort of clip into place, like so. And there's his legs done. Then you've got the arms, pull them out forwards, then bring the shoulders down, and then rotate down. And there he is. There's Drillburst in his base robot mode. And I don't think he looks too bad. He has got the drills on his shoulders, which I don't know whether they can go anywhere else. No, they're supposed to be there. So anyway, yeah, there he is in his base robot mode. He doesn't look too bad. He's got some nice colours going on. He's obviously got the blue, he's got the purple, he's got the black, and some bits of silver and some lime green highlights. He's got a weird head sculpt. He's got this very, I don't know, he's got this round thing on the top of his forehead. I don't know what it's for, but he's got a very sort of bulky sort of faceplate. Looks like he's wearing a gas mask or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's a thing. I think the base robot mode is probably the best thing about this, but that's not saying much because I'm still not a huge fan of it, to be honest. But I still think I think he probably has a slightly better looking robot than Storm Diver, because Storm Diver's got all those kibble wings that hang off the side that sort of get in the way. I mean, technically this guy has got kibble on his legs here, but you know, you can sort of raise the arms out a little bit. Articulation, head rotation. He has got light piping. He's got a little light piping chunk in the top of his head, though. It mainly works for that round thing on his forehead. Anyway, he's got a head rotation, very tight. Shoulder chunk moves round. It can move up and down. The arm can move in and out on that joint. And he's got an elbow there. Hips, forwards, backwards, forwards. He can do the full Van Damme. Does have thigh swivels. Got a nice solid 90-degree knee joint, and then he's got the standard, you know, sort of a neutral A stance, you know, cut in his legs. So yeah, he's got fairly typical articulation for a Korean toy. He's not terribly big. Do a quick size comparison. There he is next to Combiner Wars Megs, who is a good solid leader class size bot. And this is the thing with these Samba bots, because when you take this off, the alt mode, you're not left with much. There's not much mass left to form a robot from, so they tend to be sort of squat and chunky. But this guy is not too bad. I mean, he's got a bit of kibble bulk on his legs, but apart from that, I mean, you can take these off if you really want to. Clean him up a little bit. He can hold the drills in his hands. I'm looking around for some other, you know, ports he can stick them on, but I can't seem to see any. So yeah, there we go. Right, now Samba time, or Samba mode. So you get his Samba bot. and you sort of fold it back up, and then you get it, you plug it into the back, wrong way round, so you plug it in like that, and then you fold this piece down over his head. Then you pull these little black things out from the side, and then you bring it down again, and then you can fold them back, and then you can put the drills up here, and then you go like that, and there's his that's the Samba gimmick engaged. So there we go in his, you know, sort of powered up sort of Samba mode. The problem with these new Samba forms is they have these bits, these, you know, I don't know what you would call them. These bits that fall down over the top of the neck and the chest, like chest armour that folds down. And his head, as you can see, is in this little channel in here, and you can barely see it. And if you look on the thumbnail on the video, and you know, you can barely see his face. You can just see that circle, that round circle in his forehead sticking out above the what's it. This guy's got the same issue. I'm not a fan of this, to be honest. Because the previous Samba bots, they just had the animal head just sort of came down over the top of the robot head and gave them like a fancy hat, and I quite like that gimmick. But this is a bit more than that. I think you can pull them things out as well to give yourself a little bit of more of an interesting look. Yeah, doesn't really do anything for the looks as far as I'm concerned. Gives him a little bit something extra. Gives him a hulking great backpack, you know. Gives him all this chest armor, but I don't think it improves his look at all, if any. He does have his accessories. He has his saw blade, which will fit in his hand, and he has his pickaxe, which will also fit in his hand. So, you know, he can hold his weapons, his melee weapons, or whatever you want to call them. I don't know whether there's anywhere else they can stick in. I mean, you can take the drills off. You can put the drills in his hands, and then you can stick the weapons on these ports on top, like so. And obviously this small drill comes out, so you can put a bigger drill in there if you want. So there's a little bit of interchangeability on the accessories on this guy. And something I failed to mention on my review on this last week is that there's quite a few ports on him where, you know, you can plug his accessories in various places to give him a different look. This one isn't quite as many you know, ports to put things, but yeah, there we go. Now, I think we ought to do the combination in Samba mode with a different bot. So let's swap a few things around. Give him his handheld weapons. Take the drill bits off, stick them in the top, and then take that off. Come on. There we go. And then we'll stick another Samba animal on. Right, so you've got this guy. So this is the Samba animal off Storm Diver. Plugs in, and then you bring that down, and then you bring come on, it's very stiff. So then you do that, and you give him the Samba animal off Storm Diver, who's called, what was he called again? Rolling Croc, that was it. So you stick a rolling croc on the back, and again it gives him a different look, and you can interchange all the other Samba animals onto the back of any Samba figure to give them a different look or a different power up. I mean, there you go. You see he's got the crocodile power up, and yeah, that's basically the essence of the toy line. I suppose I've got to show it on what's it. Right, so there's Storm Diver, and he plugs in on the back there, and then that comes down. There you go. You've got the mole guy on Storm Diver. So yeah, they are interchangeable. It's a cool gimmick. It's just a shame that, you know, every now and again you'll get a figure in the line that just, I wouldn't say is badness necessarily, but it just isn't as good, as much of a looker as some of the others. That's definitely the case with this guy. Like I said, because I had to pay additional shipping to get this guy, because I had to pay over the odds to get him, because I'm not a fan of drill tanks, especially his drill tank. You know, his drill tank is particularly ugly. There are other Korean drill tanks that I've got, and the Mini Force X Max Bot. You know, that was probably is the worst, you know, Korean toy I've ever bought or ever owned, or I still own it. Yeah, I hate that thing. That thing's horrendous. This thing is better than that because it's got more articulation. It's got better build quality. It's leagues above, you know, that figure. But on its own merits, it's not a looker. It just looks crazy. It looks weird. It looks awful. You know, I'm not a fan of its looks. I mean, yeah, okay, the purple colours on it might appeal to some people, but it doesn't really do anything for him, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, and spoilers, he's the worst bot I've got this month because of the reasons I've just mentioned. Paying over the odds for it, and it being an ugly son of a bitch. So, yeah, so that's been me, TFL Wellness. I know this video review has been a bit unusual because of all that big old chewing the fat bit on the front where I was trying to lay the ground rules to, you know my sort of buying of Korean toys, and the way that these new Hello Carbot you know, sort of these new Hello Carbot Samba figures have come out for this extension of season 12. Yeah, I had to get them because the Samba bots. Were it not for that, I wouldn't have touched these things with a barge pole, to be honest. Definitely not this guy. I might have bought this guy, but I wouldn't have bought this guy for sure because his looks just did not appeal to me. And so I've got them, I've reviewed them, and that has been it for this month for my reviews. This review has been a bit of a train wreck, really. It's been a right mess. But I can't be bothered to refilm it and do it properly. I'm just going to throw it out as is, edit it a little bit, and there you go. So, a couple of days' time, it's going to be the my end of month bot haul. It's a bit of a meagre haul this month, but I've got a few interesting bits to show you. So, with that said, I've been TFL Wilderness. Hopefully you've found this video somewhat entertaining and of interest. So with that said, I will bid you adieu and goodbye.